going on, Jeromes? Your Minnesota Vikings are 4-0 and fired up a little Q&A. Periodically, we put it out on the community tab. Call out for questions. Thank you, everyone who submitted. So let's dive on in. Maxwell Joseph. My gut tells me the adversity we faced and eventually overcame in the Packers game might be the best thing that's happened to our team thus far. Love your work, Andy. Hey, thank you. I agree. And, the coaches and the players, especially Cashman, have said as much where, you can certainly get high and mighty and full of yourself in this game, but this game will humble you very quickly. And the fact that the Vikings almost gave it away now in historic fashion against the Packers, but they're able to make enough plays in all phases, by the way. So 2 turnovers on defense at the end. The field goal drive, they had a chance to get 1 yard and end the game. Special teams, Wright made the field goal. Wright had a couple of great punts, as well as the onside kick recovered by Oliver. I feel like it humbled this team and focused this team because they could have easily blown out the Packers and then looked past the Jets. The Jets just lost to the Broncos where Bo Nix threw for 60 yards, right? And then they're looking ahead to the bye week in Cabo and all that stuff and could get lost in all the fanfare of London, but they didn't. So now laser focused, they proved that they can get beat. But I do subscribe with what Belichick brought up last week, is that the Vikings need to learn to come from behind. And at some point, the Vikings will be down, and they have to rally. And working those muscles will be important for the Vikings' success as we get into the postseason and beyond. That's right. Playoffs, talk about playoffs. Speaking of Wright, XK Vang, what are your thoughts on punter Ryan Wright? He hasn't looked very good, but appears to be holding well for Rackerd. Is that enough to keep him around? If not, who are the options for the team to explore? So they did bring in punting competition in camp. Seth Vernon, boomer of a leg, but didn't really have the touch. Now, Wright, I think Wright is punting better than last season. I think that his touch is back. There's a couple punts that should have been downed inside the 5 or the 10, but overall, he's doing better at punts inside the 20, not out-kicking his punt coverage, and hang time is there. So I think that right now he's fine. Now, could he be better? Sure. I think, is he slightly above average? Yes. And also the chemistry between him, Rackerd, and DePaulo can't be understated as well. Next, EG, say we want to extend Darnold 1 or 2 more years, but he wants 4. What do you think the Vikings would do? So that's the conundrum. So the Vikings can obviously franchise tag him, but it's probably going to be about $42, $43 million full freight next year. But I think that if he's back, it's probably going to be like a 2-3 year deal, but front loaded where the money's guaranteed in the first year essentially. So it gives the Vikings flexibility where they can trade him after a year and hand things over to McCarthy, or they can get out from underneath the contract if they have to, right? Or if he plays well, they have him under control for 2 to 3 seasons. And with Darnold, obviously he's playing well, right? If he keeps this up for the full season, the market is going to be there. Or hell, I think even right now, especially given that the quarterback draft, there's some guys rising. I like me some Cam Ward. Maybe Jalen Moreau's making himself some money. Carson Beck, maybe not so much. But, teams will be interested. You look at the Raiders, the Giants, the Jets. If Rodgers retires, just bring him back to the Jets would be hilarious, man. Steelers, Titans, Rams, if Stafford hangs them up. Darnold has shown that he can do well in the McVay O'Connell scheme, so why not go to the Rams? Back where it all started at USC as a California kid. That actually makes a ton of sense. Or the Vikings can tag and trade him. But, it's a problem that's in on the back burner right now. But right now, just play good football, and everything will take care of itself. Next. And the money. So, I don't think it's so much the years, but in terms of the money and the guarantee. So, if he's holding out for, Jared Goff, Tua, Burrow type money, I don't know. But also, if he is a second team All-Pro or better, and if he leads the Vikings to a Super Bowl, give him the Dak contract. I don't care at that point. It's not my money. J.J. McCarthy can kick rocks in the bench, man. But I don't know. You can't tell me ish because I just won a Super Bowl. Woo, that's right, babe. Next, Aiden Round. If Naylor allows that punt to just bounce into the end zone and then the correct calls were made on the interception and the fumble, is this game anywhere close? I just don't see it. No. It is not. So, if Naylor just cleanly fields his ball or just lets it bounce. I mean, hell, it probably dies at like the 10, but that's fine. There's 44 seconds left. Packers weren't going to get the ball back, even if they burned their timeouts. You go into halftime 28-0, right? But 28-7, I mean, the Packers had a spark. I mean, scoring a 3-yard touchdown. Congratulations, right? But also, you look at other games too, where, I mean, if Aaron Jones it doesn't have the ball knocked out by Fred Warner at the 1, and then the Niners march 99 yards, that's a completely different story, right? And then the Giants and the Texans games were both blowouts. So, I mean, yeah, you could point to a couple plays here or there, but overall, the Vikings have handled their business in every single one of their games, and that's all you can ask. I mean, sometimes the ball bounce is funny, and Naylor, I mean, that and the slipping on the 4th and 1, even though I still think that he got it. I mean, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. But also, he's not the starting punt returner. Powell was dinged up. Was this on Coach Hat for not advising him about the sun? I don't know. Shut up about the sun. Yeah. Lastly, Venom's Vikings. Nailed it. Can we do an O-line update? Seems like they played lights out versus the Packers. They did really damn good against the Packers, and I think Josh Oliver was a major part of that as well, helping get a chip on Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. I mean, you didn't hear from either one of them on Sunday. And the offensive line, Brandel did finally get dinged for a sack, only 1 allowed in 4 games. It's pretty damn good. No one allowed more than 2 pressures, and only 7 pressures total for the offensive line. So that's pretty damn good. And also, yeah, the strip sack sort of is what it is, but that was a free rusher off the edge. That's more a failure on calling the protection. So that's on Bradbury and company. But, Kevin O'Connell, he took blame for that bad play call. Sort of is what it is. But overall, I mean, the Vikings offensive line is starting to get itself together. Now, Ed Ingram and Bradbury still need to step up. Yes, Brandel's been great. The tackles are elite. So, knocking on all the wood, you feel kind of good about things. Also, Quisenberry is a fantastic swing backup at tackle, and also getting Dalton Reisner back to back up both guard spots. Baby, you got Stu going. So there you go. But that's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value.